In this video, we are going to discuss the ways to find the product of an array except self. Hello, I'm Jagan from growwithdata. I am posting this video to share my knowledge in Python language with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation in any ways, I will be happy. I have created a playlist, Python interview questions 51 to 100. If you go to the YouTube channel, Grow with Data, here are the videos and playlist. So I am going to post this video into Python interview questions 51 to 100. If you want to see the previous questions, the playlist is Python interview questions 1 to 50. If you want to see the Tamil version of it, you have the playlist Tamil Python interview questions 51 to 100. I haven't created the 1 to 50 yet. I will try to post it soon. If you click on the playlist Python interview questions, you have all the videos related to that series. And if you go to the description part, you have the link to GitHub. If you click on the link, it will take the GitHub page where you have all the questions and the corresponding video link also. If you want to join the WhatsApp channel, there is a link here. You can use this link and you can join the Grow with Data WhatsApp channel. Okay, now let's see the data and we can talk about the question in detail. We are given an array of integers. We have to find the product of array except self. I mean, if you see the product of all the elements here, it's 300, right? So it's 5 into 6 is 30, into 10 is 300. If you see the individual product except the self, if you see the first element, so you ignore 5 and you get the product of the other two. So 6 into 10, 6 into 10, and then the second one you ignore 6, so it's going to be 5 into 10, and the third one is going to be you ignore 10, so it's going to be 5 into 6. So the expected output is going to be 6 into 10 is going to be 60, and then 5 into 10 is 50, and then 5 into 6 is 30. So this is the expected output. So you get the product of all the element except the element in that position. So you get 60, 50, and 30. So when you see this, you find a very easy solution, right? Just get the product of all the elements and then divide that by the particular element in that position. You get the product of other elements. Let's see. So you have 300. So 300 by 5, you get 60. So 300 by 6, you get 50, and 300 by 10, it's 30. So you just get the overall product and divide by that particular element. Let's see how it goes. So I have the input variable, and then we say def go with data, the input array, and then we just say the total product. So we say 1. If it is 0, then anything with 0 is going to be 0. So I make it as 1. Then iterate to the input array for I in n. I can say total product equal to total product into I. And then the total product is going to be the 300. Now I am going to have the output variable, which is going to be the result. Now I say for num in n. Okay, this is an input array. I can say result dot append. So the total product divided by whatever the current element is. Now I return result. If I call the function, hopefully I don't have any syntax error. It will give me 60, 50, and 30. So what I did, I take the overall product using this function. So for loop, I go with total product equal to whatever the total product into the current element. So it's going to be 1 and then into 5. So if I see the print statement here, so you can get 5, and 5 into 6 is 30, 30 into 10 is 300. So the total product will be incremented. Instead of saying total product equal to total product into I, you can simply say star equal to I. Even that works the same. It looks kind of simple and elegant. And then I use a total product and read the array again, and I divide that with the particular element. So I'll get what is required. But it's a whole number, integer, so there's no point zero kind of. So if you want to make it better, you can say round that. So you get 60, 50, and 30 without the decimals. This works fine. If you want to test a couple of test cases, it's going to work awesome. I can block the print. So it clears all the test case. Great. But there is a edge case. What if I bring in another test case where I have 0 as one of the elements? So what will happen? Let me try to bring in the print and disable other test cases. Now if I do this, it gives me an error, because when you say 5 into 6 is 30, 30 into 10 is 300, 300 into 0 is going to be 0. But if you do an individual part of it, if you consider this is going to be 0 and multiply this, and this is going to be 0, this is going to be 0, I can understand. But when you come here, you ignore 0. So the product is going to be 300. So the last value is going to be 300, not 0. So this code works fine for an array which is not having 0 as an element. So if there is any 0 in that array, then this code is going to fail. There is no way you can fix it. So how to address this? There is another way to address this. Let's see how it's going to work. Let's go out of this. So it's easy. Don't test anything, just print pass. Okay, so there is a second approach which is going to be a simpler one again. So I have the input parameter and diff, and then I say a result as a variable for I in range length of the input array. So what I'm going to do is I have 5, 6, and 10, right? Let me show you what I'm trying to do. So first thing, I'm going to ignore this. So I will get 6 and 10 as an array. Okay. And then I'll ignore 6. I'll get this array and this array. I can try a longer one, so that will be much easier. So we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is an array. So what I do for the first position, I'll get all the elements in the left side as an array, all the elements in the right side as array. So the last part is going to be null, because for the 1 there is no element in the left side, so it's null. And then in the right side you will get from 2 till 7, right? So I get 2 arrays, and then for the next one, for 2 I get the left side, which is 1. So I say 1, and then from the right side I ignore 2, so it's going to start with 3 to 7. So I split this array into a position part. So when I go with this, I take the left and right. When I go with this, I take the left and right. I ignore this, and I'll add till the end. That's what I'm trying to do here. So let's see how to do that. So I take the range of the length, and I'm going to say the sub list It's going to be n of array till that position plus n of from I plus 1. I plus 1 till the end. So I get from that 0th position means take something from left and something from right. And for position 1, you take from the left and take from the right, ignoring that particular index position. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So if I print sub n, so when I call this function, you can see how this is going to work. We are not done yet. So it will take 6 and 10 as the first one, 5 and 10 as the second one, 5 and 6 as the third one. Now I am going to use this sub array and I'm going to have the output. So we say we already use result output. Oh, okay. You can just say check. We're going to do the product of all the elements for j in sub array a star equal to the product. So this is what we did in the first one. Total product equal to, you can say total product might not be the right naming convention. We can just say the same logic is used here. So you go through the sub array and you multiply all the elements to check the product, same like this. And then we are going to append the result dot append. You just say check here, not wait. So we are going to append the check. Now you return result. So you get 60, 50, and 30. So what we are doing, we are taking the first array, input array, get the length and break down the array except that element, you get the rest of the elements. And then loop in that sub array and do the process we did here. So in that scenario, if you are having 0, we ignore the 0, we create a subset and then it's going to clear the test case. So we have the pass thing. So in this scenario, it's going to clear what happens here. Assert grow with data. Invalid syntax. So are you missing anything here? Oh, we are missing the close bracket here. Okay. So now what it say, you get this array, create subarray ignoring the particular element, and then do a product append to the result. So this works. But the problem with this is, if you see the first loop, right? This is going to be, the time complexity is O of n, where n is the length of the array. And then second, here, we are going to have again O of, you can say n minus 1, which is close to O of n, right? Is close to O of n. So for every element in the top array, we are going to run the loop for the second time, the whole thing. So the whole process is going to take O of n square, right? We are going to O of n square. So we're going to run this for O of n square. So if this array is going to be like 100 elements, right? This is not scalable. So this is not the right solution. You get the answer, it works fine. But when you see the time complexity, it's horrible. So this is not a scalable code. So how we can approach this? Okay, let's try to do something different. So before you go into that code, I just want to show how the range function works. We use the range part here, right? Let's see how the range works for different conditions. So when you say range of 5, print I. So it will take 0 to 4. It don't cover the last element. If you say 2 comma 5, it starts with 2 and ends at 4. If I say 1 to 5, it 1, 2, 3, 4. If I say increment by 2, so 1, 3, and then try to by 5. Like if we say 6, say 1, 3, 5. And if we say reverse, just take only this. When you say reversed, so instead of saying 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it say it just start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we say start with 1, so it start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It just ends here. Is this way, then it goes in the reverse order of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is a basic thing we have in our range function. We are going to use this in our current code. So let's have the input variable as n equal to the numerical value. Now we are going to start with our function growwithdata n. We are going to say the length equal to length of the input array. Just keep that because we are going to use in more than one places. We are going to declare 3 variables: left, right, and result, which is going to be same 0 into the length of the array. So this is going to be for all the 3. Okay, now we are going to say L of 0, okay, capital L, left part, L of 0 equal to 1. I tell you why I put 1, okay? So what I am going to try is the same like getting an element and do the product part. I am going to get a left array which starts with 1 and then it goes with the products here. And then we say 5 and then 6 5s are 30, okay? And then I'm going to use a right part which is going to have 1 at the end and then it has to go with the other elements 10 and then 60, okay? And then I am going to multiply this two. First element 1 into 60, the result equal to 1 into 60, 5 into 10 and 30 into 1. That's equal to 60 comma 50 comma 30. So this is what we are expecting, right? So this is what I'm trying to do. First create a left array which is 1 and then 5 and then 5 into 6. The second one is right, which is 1 and then 10 and then 10 into 6. And then multiply both the elements, left and right. Okay, so let's do it. So L equal to 1, which is the first element. And then I'm going to use the for I in range 1 comma the length of the input array. So since we already have L of 0 as 1, we don't want to use the L of 0 part. So we can just say L of from capital L of I from first position, first index equal to the previous one I minus 1. So capital L of I minus 1 into the arrays I minus 1, right? So I have 1 here and then I get that 1 and then multiply by the previous one, 5, from the input array. So I get the next element as 5. If I go to the next 30, that means I get the previous one 5 and then goes with 6. So 6 5s are 30. So I'm going to create the first L as like this. Okay. So we can say print first array as L. Let's call the function and see if we can bring in what we are expecting. So we get 1, 5 and 30. Now we have to go for the second part. So second part, what you have to do? First, we have to assign the particular position to 1 so that the products don't get 0. So L of, instead of saying L of 0, what you say? You read the last one, right? So right of -1 equal to 1. So -1 means it goes to the last array, right? So if you say A equal to this, if you say A of 0, we'll get the first element. But if I say A of -1, it gets the last element. So that is what it is. So left of -1 is the last position. It's going to be 1. Now if I say we have to go with the reverse order, right? So we have to go with 10, 6, and 5. So how will I do it? Same for R in reverse, and the range has to start with range of length -1, because if we say length, then going to get the last element, but last element we already assigned that as 1. So we just say reversed the range length -1. Now we say R of that particular index position equal to, same like left, we just say R of I plus 1. So it goes with the previous one in the right side. If you say -1, it goes to the left side. So I get the right side part. So I increment this number. Now let's print the second one. Where is the right one? Oh, you deleted it? Oh, it's here. So the first one goes here, and then the second one, the second array is going to be the right part. Now if you run it, we got the second one, 60, 10, and 1. So we got the second one. Now we are going to do the product of left and right, this combination. Let's see how to do that. So after right, we say for I in, we have to go for the whole length, right? So I in this, we have results. Result of the particular index equal to, we say the left of that index into right of that index. So we get I of 0 means left of 0 plus the into right of 0. 1 means left of 1, right of 1. So that gets the exact product. Now return result. Now if you run it, it gets the product and you get the result. Awesome. Now if you want to try the test cases, we can try all the test cases and everything works fine. You can stop the print, and if you run it, all works fine. Even the 0 has been addressed. Great. Now if you see the time complexity, you read that array and create a new array, and read that array and create the new array. So it's going to be O of n plus O of n. So it's going to be O of n. Even if the array is going to be 100 elements, you read that array once. So it's not going to be a multiplication of any element. So this is a better time complexity part. Only thing is we are doing it twice, L, R, and use both the arrays and do it. So there is no much space for improvement, but there is some space to improve the code, right? So instead of creating left, right, and result, let me try to reduce that to one more step. So instead of getting two variables and then go for third, let me do it in one variable. So how will I do it? So I can keep the length as such, and then I keep the result, and then I will remove the left and right part, okay, and then say the result of 0 equal to 1, and I'm doing the same process. So instead of left, I will say result of I equal to result of I minus 1 into n minus 1. So instead of the first array, I'm going to have the result which stores 1, 5, and 30. And then I'm going to use one more trick. I just say r equal to 1, whatever the reverse part of it, right? And I'm going to say the reverse part, I start from the end. Here, I'm going to say the reverse of I equal to the reverse of I into the R. So I'm going to consider this element directly into R as an integer, not as an array. And then I'm going to increment R every time it's done with its work with that index position. R equal to R into n of I. So here I take 1, 10, and 60, right? Instead of putting into an array, I make this R as a variable and I'm going to multiply on the flow. So I don't have to store another array. So now I can completely ignore this. So what I did, instead of saying left and right, I can use only the result and store the result here first time and directly take the R as a variable instead of array and increment that every time it finishes its work. So I completely ignore this process. I do the multiplication, this process as a second for loop, and I did that. So the storage is going to be only one array as a result. So this is much faster than the first one because we just stop this third process. Everything combined into this two process. So we start with a very basic process, which is do the total product, and then you saw it got failed because if there is a 0, the total product is going to be a bottleneck. Then we split an array into a sub array, excluding the particular element. You create a sub array with all other elements, and the problem is the time complexity, which is going to be O of n square. Then we found a simpler solution to read the array once to create a left array, and then one more time to create the right array, and you do the product of these two to get the required result. So to optimize this, instead of creating three variables, we create only one variable, one array variable, and consider another integer variable to do this work in a simpler format, which is here. So the final result is going to be a simple two for loop with one array and one integer variable, and the solution is perfect. Hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.